Alright guys, this is Jacob from Wager Me This, and I got another toolbox video here, and this video is going to be toolbox video number 9. And in this video I want to talk about having a backup plan. Okay, so today we saw a great example if you watch Big AZ's channel. So this is a shout out to Big AZ Craps Guru. He put a thing on there about a video said like don't collapse or don't champion thing, and well, what ended up happening is he just played don'ts, and it got crushed because the sevens landed wrong. It wasn't that he didn't have sevens in the rolls, they just landed wrong, and ended up just destroying us. He had a $1,000 bankroll and wiped him out in basically one shooter. Now the shooter went long and hit points and stuff, but it just goes to show you, when things are going one direction, if your strategy contradicts that direction, you have to get off that strategy. So you have to, when you come to the table, you have to have strategies for both directions, right? Whether it's light or dark, you know. So the best strategies, they incorporate both, but they're flexible enough to where you can kind of drop off one or the other and still basically be doing the same thing, but you know, taking advantage of the direction the table is heading, direction of the shot is heading, the shooter, you know, if he's going long, you know, make sure you can make that long roll count. If 3 or 4 in a row are going short, make sure, you know, you're moving off them light side strategies and making money off them shooters, right? You don't want to have a bunch of break evens and a bunch of negative shooters, relying on one long roll to get you there. You don't want that stuff. You want to be able to make money on every kind of shooter. Now, it's not going to happen every time, of course. There's times you're going to lose some money. But if you build your game plan right, you build, you know, your strategies correlate with each other. So, for example, I'm going to show something that I do, and I've showed it a ton of times. I'm going to show you one of the reasons why I do it. All right, so there's $500. I'm going to get $600. All right. Not for any particular reason, that way I've read some greens. All right, so when I play either a $50 or a $75 don't, right, when I'm starting here, right, the reason I do this is it's not about the coverage, it's about making the 7 a winner. All right, so we got a 5, 4, 1, 5. All right, so now I got a 7 against a 5. So then I'm going to take this, I'm going to go $38, 6, and 8. Okay, so now what I have here is if this shooter starts going long, I've already got 2 of these bets out here, 2 of the best bets. And so if it just keeps hitting money, you know, like it goes through 3 or 4 or 5 rolls, and if it knocks me off, you know, I'm going to realize, okay, this shooter's going long, so I'm going to play this way. I'm going to just switch gears and play to the light side. Now, if it goes, you know, 0.7, 0.7, you know, I'm going to start leaning, okay, hey, maybe I'm going to knock these down to $18 a piece and play that way for a while and make this valuable, more valuable. All right, so let's say it's like this, okay? And also you got to have, if you're going to play a don't strategy, you got to have a limit on how many don'ts you're willing to lose before you switch gears. All right, usually I go twice. Usually if it gets knocked off, that doesn't mean that much to me. I go again. If it gets knocked off again, then I play that shooter out light side. All right, so here we go. Here we have an 8. All right, so there's 35. Okay, so at this point, to me, it wouldn't necessarily mean this was going long. I'm going to collect that. All right, there's a 4. So them are 3 box numbers in a row. And there's another 8. Okay, so now I might be thinking, okay, that's 4 box numbers in a row with 2 winners. All right, this is starting to get lucrative. All right, then there's a 7. Okay, so it went short. I did make some money. All right, so I'm on the strategy both ways, is what it boils down to. Is I'm playing the strategy both ways, which gives me the flexibility to move in or out of one or the other. All right, here we go. We got a 5 again. All right, same thing. So our last one went 5 rolls, but it was 5 good rolls. None of them were bad numbers. None of them were horn numbers. All right, and then we have a 7. All right, so we have 2 in a row that went relatively short. And so basically I'm even. right? So this time I'm going to expect this one to go short again, right? Until it proves me wrong, right? There's an 11, okay? So there's one knockoff. Get right back out there. And, okay, so I got my money back. I don't really count them, the winners on the come outs. I don't really count them, right? So there's a 5. So remember, we've had a bunch of short rolls, and these are an 11 and a 2. So I'm not going to trust the shooter. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 18 and 18 with the idea that this shooter's not going to go very long, and I want the 7 to make money. All right, here we go. And there's a 6. That's a $21 winner. Remember, that's only 2 box numbers, guys. The rest of the numbers were gibberish. They were, oh, let's put this over here. The rest of the numbers were gibberish numbers. You know, they were garbage. All right, there's an 8. There's a $21 winner. All right, so we have 3 box numbers, and 1 is the point. And then we have a 2. All right, so there's another, you know, so this is, we're probably on the right side of this. All right, there's a 10. All right, so it's starting to lean heavy. There's a 4. It's starting to, oh, but it didn't quite make it. Now, but that was a reasonably good roll. It went long, but there was a bunch of horn numbers in it. We did get knocked off once. We got it back. But still, in the long run, because we were judging table direction, we were judging heat of the table or whatever. I know it's just theoretical, but because our strategy allows us flexibility to go either direction with it, then we were able to make money. If we would have just stayed solid on the don'ts, yeah, we would have ended up winning in the end there. But the ones that we repeated, if we were just running through the don'ts, we would have been losing money there. And you don't want to do that. All right, so let's get another. Let's see if we can see a long one. Okay, we're getting a lot of points of 5s. Right? I'm seeing this. I'm trusting that this donut is going to make it. When I'm seeing all these points of 5s come out, all right? So that roll was pretty good. So we're going to go back and say, okay, maybe it's turning around a little bit. We're going to bump it up to 30 again. And we got an 8, right? So 35. And so now we're trusting that this is moving in the right direction, right? So maybe this time we're going to start pressing, start adding numbers, right? There's a yo. So 2 good numbers and 1 bad number. And there's a 7. Okay, so we were wrong. And sometimes that's going to happen. You're going to be wrong sometimes. All right, so the table's still cold. It's still essentially cold. It's hanging in that 4, 5, 6 range. Still a cold table. All right, there's a 6. Okay. So in this case, of course, we're still thinking it's cold. We tried thinking it was warm, and it bit us. So we're going to go on the cold side again. There's a 3, a 4, a 7. Okay, so we're right. We're right this time. It's staying cold. But what's happening, guys? We're not losing. We're winning. Even on the cold table, we're still winning. All right, it's going to turn around. Okay, so we lost on that come out. Put it right back out. 6, hard 6. Okay, same thing. I'm gonna jump out here. We're still under the assumption we're playing on a cold table. That hasn't changed yet. Hopefully we're gonna hit a number or 2. Oh, we got the 8. That's 21. But we're still, you know, these have only been going 4 and 5 rolls, so we're gonna assume that's true. There's the 5. All right, so we've had 3 box numbers. There's the 8. That's 4 box numbers. Okay, so we're starting to get into that warm territory. We're starting to judge it by the box numbers and by the horn numbers more than length of roll. All right, there's a 9. All right, so this is starting to get into that, okay, this is going good territory. We've collected some money, so we're going to start picking up some other money, some other bets. All right, pressing, whatever it is you like to do. Okay. We were probably 1 too late there, but it still did well, right? Still did well. We still made money, even on the end there. We lost 48, but 150. So that's what I'm getting at, is when you make your strategies, don't just be heavy one direction or the other, because then if it goes wrong, it only has to go wrong a little bit to cost you everything. If your strategies incorporate flexibility on both sides of the game, then you're able to move in and out of being light-sided or being dark-sided. All right, so I'll show you even a stronger version of it. Okay, so this time I'm going to act like this table is going cold, and I'm going to start pushing into the dark side more than the light side, and I'll show you what I mean by that. All right, so there's a 5, 4, 9. So points 9. Okay, so we're going to start the same way. We'll start with a 6 and 8 at $18. Get some ones here. All right, and we're assuming this table's cold. There's the 5, 3, 2, 5. That wasn't a 6, it was a 5. All right, there's an 8. Okay, so remember, we're still under the assumption this table is cold. So what are we going to do? We're going to play through this note. All right, $20 over there, a winning out of winnings. Okay, so we just hit our point. All right, this is going to travel. Lose 50. When you do stuff like this, okay, if you're moving in and out of strategies, and you knock off here, but you get repaid here, you don't have to go so big right here. It's not as important. So we're just going to put 25 there this time. We don't have to go as big. All right, there's the 8. So point's going to go to 8. All right, so we're going to take this and we're going to move it over to the 5. All right, we're still going to play. There's the 6. We're still playing through the don't, even though this looks like it's going light side on us. In the 5, okay. So it's going to travel. All right, so it's going to pay 21. All right, so now we've got 3 don't points. We're not going to go no more, right? We're going to pull this down. If we go any more, we're going to start taking away from our value. All right, so now we're hoping for that 7. Oh, we got knocked off our 5. All right, so we actually went the wrong direction here. We should have went to the hot side, and I'll show that. All right, 7. So we were 1 late. Not a big deal. Still did great. Still did perfect. Being able to move in and out of the strategy, you know, as it made sense. All right, so this time we'll move to the light side. All right, so here we go. We got a 9. We'll say it started with the same thing, $18 and $18. And we have a 9. Okay, so this is exactly when I would start thinking this was going light. I would replace it, but if it, you know, if it got knocked off or got a funny number like a 7, if it rolls a 7 right here, okay, so right here, I'm not going to put this back. All right, I'm assuming this is going light side. I'm actually going to play the pass. I'm going to get a 5, okay, and I'm just going to go straight light side from here. All right, $21 winner. There's an 8, because it's showing me that, hey, it's going light side. So I'm going to put 20 there. And I'm going to try to make some money. There's a 12. There's the 8 again, $21 winner. Okay, we're going to drop another $1 here. Bump that up, that'll be 30. $2 here, bump that up to 30. All right, now I'm going to probably start collecting. And there's a hard 8 again. That wasn't a 10, that was an 8. This is going to be 35. All right, rack the 25, pick up the 10. We're trying to make some money, guys. It's going light side. We're going to ride that wave. You want to ride that wave. All right, so there's a 10. It's $18. All right, we're going to grab this other one over here. It's 4. Rack up some chips. Remember, you still want to be collecting, though. You still want to be getting some money out of the hand. All right, you can take it down anytime. It's a brilliant move. Take this down anytime. $35 winner. Remember, you're still playing for money. You still, even though you've built light side, you know, it still is probably a good idea to say, okay, we've had a bunch of hits in a row. Let's regress this all the way down to $12. you know, let's rack these chips. Let's rack this profit. All right, pull that down to 10. Let's make this money, guys. All right, if it keeps going, we'll build it back up. So there's a $14 winner. All right, so it's acting like it wants to keep going. We'll keep going up. Riding that wave. We're on the light side, but make sure you get your money out of hand, guys. Don't just 10. So we're gonna drop that for 20. All right, bump that up, bump that up, and the 7. Not a bad deal. I know it looks like we lost a bunch, but we regressed at the right time. Got a couple more hits in, and that's the key. Okay. All we did was move from the dark side strategy to the light side strategy and then went for it. All right, so let's see where we ended up. There's a loss right there too. Okay, there's the 500. Let's see, get our 600 in here. And again, I wasn't shooting, I wasn't doing anything. I was just showing how to transition from one to the other, or at least trying to. All right, so there's 600. So we made 50, 75, 100, 119. I mean 109, not 119. So we made $109. And all we did was we were moving back and forth from light to dark using the flexibility that the strategy we use. Right? So I know it looks like I was only using one strategy, but I wasn't. I was actually using two strategies together. All right, so the one strategy I was using is a don't plus some 6 and 8s, right? But the second it started going light side, I was moving to an inside and then a sprawl strategy. All right, I know it looked the same, but it's actually two put into one. And so that's the idea. You want flexibility. You want to have the backup plan, right? But you don't want your backup plan to be like, okay, next shooter I'm doing this. You want that backup plan to be fluid. Say, when it starts moving one direction, to be able to push yourself in that direction. When it starts heading the other way, to be able to just maneuver your bets to the next direction. And that's the way to win on a huge majority of the shooters, all right? That way you don't have to rely on only your shot. That way you don't have to rely on shooters going long rolls. You don't have to rely on none of that. Right? When that happens, all that is a bonus. When you get them 25 and 30 rolls, them are just bonuses. Your strategies should incorporate both sides, and you should be able to move in and out of them. And you should understand where the profit gets generated from in your strategies. You should understand where the consistency is at in your strategies, you know, where the coverage is, you know, what you do want to do and what you don't want to do. You know, all that's part of it, and you have to develop that, and it takes time, right? It takes two kinds of time. It takes time at home practicing, and it takes time at the casino doing it, right? So that's part of it too. And also, you have to trust yourself. If you think, hey, okay, I just got knocked off twice on the stone, I better head light side, right? Trust yourself. Trust that, hey, we're going to go to the light side and I'm going to ride this wave. This guy's making points, you know, hey, we're going to go for this. And trust yourself. You don't have to add a whole bunch of money out there. Just use what's getting hit, you know, build it with that and start collecting. And, you know, trust me, when you follow the waves, follow the path of the table, you're going to win a lot. You're going to win a whole bunch of the times. And sometimes you might only profit $5 on that shooter. And sometimes you might profit $400 on that shooter. I mean, by riding the wave, you're always on the right side of things, and that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you're fluid. You have a lot of versatility in your strategy, in the combination of the things you like to do. And now don't get out of sorts either. Don't go wild saying, man, this guy's going light side, I better put $600 across. You know, don't do that. Or don't go the other way either, saying, man, all I'm seeing is 7s out here, so I need to, you know, hop the 7s every time. I mean, that stuff ain't gonna work, guys. What works is consistency, strategies that limit exposure, but have high profitability per shooter, and that's what makes money. And as long as once you figure out what you like to do, and you don't have to do it the way I did it. There's lots of ways to do it, right? You can start with 44 inside, and as it starts, if you seeing some bad rolls coming, you can just lay a bet. You can, okay, hit the 9, lay the 9. I mean, you can do stuff like that. And it'll start moving you into the dark side, where you can start maybe working through the don't come and stuff and getting on that dark side. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to transition from the light side to the dark side. There's a lot of ways to do it, guys. And so, I mean, this was just my toolbox video number 9. I hope you guys like it. And thanks again to Big AZ, for showing that crush and loss he had today. But you guys, sometimes that's how it goes. You can't just go in there with one plan and expect it to work. And thank you again, Big AZ. That was amazing. Thanks for putting that on film. And you guys, this is Jacob from Wager Me This. You guys have a good night.